Welcome to the Southern Yankee Homestead. Today we're going to be processing a watermelon and going with our usual. We try to minimize loss on everything. So anything we don't use, we end up composting. So we're going to break this down, try a couple new things and a couple old things that are first time for us. What we're going to do is we're going to break this watermelon down so the only thing we're getting rid of are seeds and the skin. We're even going to use the rind. So stick around as we process a watermelon. So let's get to washing. This watermelon has already been washed. So we're going to start working the watermelon. We want 1-inch pieces approximately. For the next step, we're going to get our big tall pot out. Nice, set down here. Yep, big tall pot. Set that right here. And we're going to peel our watermelon rinds and take out any schmutz like in there. So we're going to take the ends and we're going to start by cutting them into the correct pieces. That's going to be compost. And we're going to take basically the green off. We're going to do about 1-inch chunks. At this point in the video, I'll go ahead and say, if you haven't figured it out, what we're doing is we're going to be making watermelon rind pickles. So this is a recipe that I found in that Ball preserving and canning book. And since we grew watermelons this year, and we're going to have a couple watermelons this year, I think we have 9 counted right now. Is it 9?
Yep.
9 watermelons right now?
Yep.
Okay, so confirmed with the boss. Now, the only unfortunate thing is this is not our watermelon. I bought this one. One of the reasons I bought this one was I'd messed up on something, so I thought I'd get Diana a watermelon. Well, she didn't take too keen to it, but it worked out to the better because this way I can experiment with someone else's watermelon, and if it don't work, we don't try it with our watermelon. We try something different. So I'm going to just go ahead and trim these up, and I think here in a second, when I'm done talking, I'll go ahead and put you all on time lapse, if I can remember how to do that, and I'll come back when it's time for the next step after I've got all this chunked down to something that's manageable. Alright, for the next step, we are going to do 4 quarts of water to 1 cup of salt. 4 cups of water in large saucepan, add salt. So 4 quarts. So 4 cups per quart. We're going to use 2 of these. And I'm going to use a 1/2 cup to start. I'm going to use a semi-warm water. We're just going to pour it in the rinds. And repeat. Doesn't say it in the book, but I'm going to do it here. With salt water, it should be trying to draw some of the moisture out of the watermelon so that the rinds are a little less liquidy. Well, other stuff I've done in the past, we have to keep it below the water level. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's about the right size. Do that. Let's see if this stays up. There we go. It's just a mason jar of water. So we're going to refrigerate this for 12 hours or overnight, which it just so happens that 12 hours would be overnight because, yeah, you see the clock right there. That's accurate. It's almost 6 o'clock. So this will be right at 6 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm not starting it at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, and we will be back in a jiffy. I'm going to change my... I'm back. It's been about 2 days since we sliced up the watermelon, and, well, life interfered, so we weren't able to do the pickles yesterday. So what you saw just a second ago was from the day prior. So for 2 days now, the watermelon has been in the dryer. Well, unfortunately, I woke up this morning to a funky smell. And if you look there, let's see if I can turn the light on here. Yep, she's molding, so I didn't do it right. The unfortunate thing is we've lost this entire batch of watermelon. We still have the watermelon rind that we can do the pickles with, which we will be in a minute. But this won't go to waste. I'm going to take a little time, clean this up, and we're going to go ahead and make soil out of it. Basically, we're going to compost it, make some new fertilizer for new watermelon. I've taken care of the old watermelon that's out in the compost, so that'll be composting down and make some nice rich dirt. The next step in our process, if you remember, we put everything into a pot and put it in the fridge a day and a half ago. So let's pull it out and see what we got. Alright, we have a couple floaters in here, but for the most part it's good. I just have a colander in the sink because we're supposed to drain and rinse this. Help cut down on some of the dishes. For the next part, I'm just going to load it right back into the same pot. Get that out, should need that. So we're going to get some nice cold running water, spray it all over the place. See, a little awkward for me, but oh well, I'll survive. There we go. Drain water, drain and rinse, then combine watermelon rind and 1 gallon of water in a large saucepan. I should classify as a large saucepan. Just going to use this mason jar we're using to hold things down. So 4 quarts of water, And we are going to cook over medium-high heat until rind is tender, drain and set aside. Okay, so medium-high heat, we'll put it on 7.5. See me now? All right. So we're gonna make a spice bag. Go a little extra long on this. I'll show you why in a minute. This is just run-of-the-mill cheesecloth. I'm going to open this up. There's a method to my madness, don't worry. There's a madness to my method. I'll let you decide. Now we got this all unfolded. I'm going to fold it back up a little bit differently. There we go. Tablespoon of cloves, whole cloves. Half a tablespoon, that'll work. 1, 2, 3. Just gonna there we go. Whole cloves. 1 tablespoon. Smell that. This is a half tablespoon, is the first one I grabbed. So 1. That looks like 2, don't it? All right. Put it on the side. 1 tablespoon whole allspice. Smell that? Smell that? Yeah, I'm looking at my phone, making sure you're in view. No? No smell? Okay. No, sorry. Whole allspice. Put that to the side. And we're going to use half a teaspoon of mustard seed. 1/4 teaspoon. Sorry for the background noise. I'm running the dishwasher. Let me find another one of these. I know I got a mustard seed that's open. So a half teaspoon, and I'm using 1/4 because that's what I have, of mustard seed. Take the corners. I'm actually going to do this one a little different. We're going to take the corners. We're actually going to tie them loosely, if I can get it to work. I'm experimenting here. Don't hate. So get that tied up. Now in theory, should be able to tie this. That's tied together, so you get a nice firm packet. I don't have any of the correct twine, so don't tell Hun I'm borrowing some thread. Hopefully I'll have this up before she gets back, in which case she can chastise me for using her sewing kit for something other than sewing. Let me get this started first. Just doing this to make sure that it stays put. There, that'll cut a lemon. That looks like a half cup, don't it? Now we're going to need 7 cups of sugar. 7 cups. there. That's one of the reasons why I'm recording it. So that when I lose count, I can look at it later and go, ooh, I lost count. And, wow, only 2 cups of vinegar. Okay. Let's throw these in there now. 2 cups of vinegar in that. Wow. Spoon out. We're gonna start this slow. I'm gonna put this on low. I'm not gonna. Wow. Okay. I'm not going to truly get this going until the watermelon rinds come together, because this is only supposed to simmer for 10 minutes. Submerge this. There we go. Keep that one out. Oh, and while I was off camera taking the watermelon out, I think I know what I did wrong with trying to dry the watermelon. I think I made it too thick. I made it 1 inch thick. I think the next time I try this, which I will be doing this again, I'm going to cut the watermelon no thicker than a 1/2 inch, preferably closer to a 1/4 inch. I think it was just too thick that it didn't actually dry out, it sweat. And when it sweat, it basically just started causing things to grow. Give a good petri dish to it. All right. Well, let me get this up to temp. We're going to heat the rind until it is tender. Cook over medium height until the rind is tender. Drain, set aside. Combine spice bags. Got that. We're then going to add the watermelon rind and simmer the watermelon rind until it is transparent. And then we're going to remove the spice bag. The one exception we're going to make, we're not going to add the watermelon to the seasoning. We're going to add the seasoning to the watermelon because this pot's bigger. If it seems a little smoky in here, it's because I stepped away to work on some permitting, and I made caramel. Unfortunately, I made caramel all over the stove. So, this process is going to take a little bit longer than I originally intended. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and transfer this into a bigger pot. Now, keep our distance on this one. There we go. So what we're supposed to do now is cook it until these are transparent, and then remove the spice bag. Alright, now we're done trying to burn down the house, and I've de-smoked the place a little bit. We have come up to a simmer, and we've simmered this for a couple minutes just to make the watermelon rind transparent. I'm going to go ahead and remove the bag of seasonings. I still have the heat on this because I want to make sure I got it to the right temp, because again, I've never made this before, and as you've seen, stuff goes wrong. Welcome to real life. Now, also while you were off station, or while we were off the camera, I got everything set up. I've got 8-pint jars set up. I don't think I'll need that many, but it's better to have too many than too few. Still 1 or 2 of these that are looking not quite transparent. And just so you can see, pull this one out here. Oops. Pull 2 out. That's what I mean, or that's what I'm thinking transparent means. It looks like jelly candy. Which, relatively speaking, it is jelly candy with as much sugar as we have in here. Or had in here. Alright, we're going to go with that. We're going to go ahead and start filling our jars. Now these are just lightly warmed. I haven't cranked the heat up on these yet. I can still touch them, but they're not hot. I'm heating these jars because I'm putting hot liquid into a hot jar. The last thing I want to do is have a jar shatter with smoking hot liquid. If it shatters when I'm cold packing, that's one thing. What we're going to do is we're going to fill it within a 1/2 inch, which if you remember the previous videos, go there for now, and I'm going to set this off to the side. The reason I'm setting it off to the side, there's my other white mouth. The reason I'm setting it off to the side is because there's going to be liquid in the bottom when we're done, and I can adjust accordingly how much to put in each jar. And as suspected, I'm a little low. So instead of bringing the temperature back down by adding cold water, I just have some nice hot water here from the teapot. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. That should be about an inch. We don't have that much more left. We'll just there. Now we added hot water to hot water, so it's not going to take us long to bring it up to temp. I'm going to put a lid on her. And we'll be back when she's done, and I'm pulling her out. Bye. Already popping. And they're pretty. Oh, look at that. Grab that one here. Whoops. On roll. Alternate sides so that you keep a balance between the jars. There we go. 7 pints of watermelon rind pickles. Only almost fire and bad watermelon, and otherwise we're good. That will conclude this episode. Hope you liked it. Hope you'll share it. Hope you'll subscribe. Intent. Leave a comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright, welcome to Southern Yankee Homestead. Today we're going to be playing around a little.
Did you just fart? Did you just fart it?
I did not just fart. I slapped a watermelon.